Thank you.
Starting now.
Right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll give everyone a couple more minutes to hop on, and then we'll be getting started.
Currently sitting at 27 guests, Kevin.
Okay. All right. So for just the sake of time, we'll get started here as we get a couple more people to join us. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today. My name is Kevin Santos, and I'm thrilled to be hosting this session. As head of the enterprise sales for Southern Alberta at CDW, I've had the privilege of working very closely with a lot of our teams that you're going to be meeting here today that provide top-notch services to our clients. Before we dive into this exciting world of CW services offering, I want to assure you that your participation is valued and appreciated. Throughout the presentation, we'll have dedicated individuals who'll be monitoring the chat and be able to address your questions and concerns in real time. So please feel free to engage with us and make the most out of the session. Once again, thank you for joining us today. And without further ado, let's explore how CW services can empower your business for success. Over to you, Drew.
Wonderful. Thanks, Kevin. Good morning, all. My name is Drew Eakes. I'm a business development manager within CW Service Organization. I'm an advisory overlay resource that works to support our sellers for customers primarily in the prairies. And I'll be your first speaker here. At a high level, agenda looks like, and you'll see introductions come here on the next slide. I'll walk you through the evolution of CDW and how we've gone from transactional to value to transformative through some of our foundational capabilities, highlight specific professional services around digital workspace, security, hybrid, cloud, and staff augmentation, as well as provide you a high-level snapshot of our managed service capabilities, and we'll have Kevin take it over at the end and walk you through our call to action. You can see we've assembled a rockstar team here for you, those primarily in the prairies, with the exception of myself, who sits in Ontario. But I've supported our customers in the prairies for going on 6 years here at CW. At a high level, CDW's evolution's taken 40 years, with CWS starting in 1984. CDW's really worked to move from a transactional volume-based hardware and software type organization to a service-centric, helping customers with end-to-end solutions through hardware, software, professional, and managed services. And it was really predicated on our acquisition of Scalar Decisions and following companies in 2019. That helped build out our core strength bench around being able to provide what are now our 6 core technology pillars to our customers. We've made additional acquisitions throughout the years and will continue to do so. Last year marked CDW Canada's 20th year in serving the Canadian market, and we hope to serve for many more. At a high level, here's what our partner relationships and how we're viewed by the industry. CDN ranked CDW as a top partner the last 9 of 10 years. So if you look back to 2013 all the way through last year, the industry views us as a top solution provider and top MSP. This will provide you a high-level cross-section of what some of our skills and experience looks like from a technology perspective. And then for those of you that have locations just north of the border there, we've got the ability to assist you with our brothers and sisters in CWS. In the industry last year, they were viewed as number 4 top solution provider in North America. Here's how our partners view us from a partnership perspective. Similar to every year I've been here, CDW is viewed by our partners as top in the industry, and we typically hold the highest designation with each of these partners. Rest assured, this is only a very small cross section. I believe at last count we were over 1,300 partnerships with vendors. Global scale, but Canadian focus. We have 9 offices, 900 coworkers, $1.3 billion in revenue. What that really means is that we are truly in the black as it revolves around being able to support our customers from a flexibility of finance perspective. We have 90+ solution architects, 140 professional services, NOC and SOC engineers and pen testers, with our NOC and SOC spread across Toronto and Calgary location. Again, taking a global lens for customers that have footprints in the US and rest of world, CDW Canada, CWS, and CWK, the latter looking after the rest of world. You'll see that we are well positioned to be able to help customers grow exponentially, regardless of what continent you're on. From a core foundational capability, wanted to touch on a few technology trends here for our customers. AI is at the forefront of everything that customers are looking to do right now. It could be something as simple as Copilot, all the way around looking at how to organizationally deploy tools that are largely going to assist with being transformative in nature. This is what we view in the industry views across Gartner and IDC as being the key technology trends of 2024, and happy to have following discussions for those that reach out. More focused innovation, we see customers reaching out to us for IoT, high performance computing, automation and orchestration of both tools and technologies, including on-premise and cloud, and then leveraging data analytics to provide more actionable data. What that looks like for you as a customer, CDW is proud to put out our cloud report every year, and it really helps customers understand what it's like from a digital infrastructure, both internally and what it's like for them externally to help reduce cost. And then again, taking from a CapEx to an OpEx. And rest assured, for those that have accounting practices that require CapEx versus OpEx, we can absolutely do that. Similar to the cloud report, CW, this is our 8th year putting out a security study, and it's focused on really the Canadian landscape and helping our customers address cybersecurity threats. From a professional services standpoint, here's what our technology stack looks like. Cloud all the way through consulting services. Different than some of our competitors, we take a people, process, technology approach versus the majority. Both vendors and competitors take a technology, process, people approach. CW, for the most part, is focused on 6 core technology pillars. I won't belabor the slides by walking through each of them, but you can see cloud services, data center, networking, including HCI, storage, risk management, security, through what CW refers to as digital workspace. And those are collaboration-based solutions to help you be productive and collaborative internally and externally. Consulting services and staff augmentation, and then digital transformation, leveraging our investment service now. Recognizing a few years back, CW decided to build out a digital workspace practice, and that's really to help customers understand the parity for remote workers, consolidate platforms, drive customer loyalty, create agility and mobility, getting return on investment amid economic uncertainty, and really helping retain employees over 5 years. So you'll find that if the right tools are not in place, it becomes more cumbersome to have high employee retention. Here's what our key differentiators look like. And again, I'm not big on belaboring the points, so you can see here, we've got key integrated skill sets, security excellence, best-in-class solutions, the size and scale to be able to help customers not only in Canada, but from a global perspective as well. And then here's what those technology pillars look like for you as a customer, focused on endpoint, on workspace, productivity, and collaboration. The purpose to illustrate below by the vendor logos is to give you a context as to what some of those technologies look like that fall within the pillars. With that, I will turn it over to Reid to walk us through our security overview.
Thanks, Drew. Next slide. So my name is Reid Nelson, Principal Security Architect with CDW. I'm one of about 20 solution architects that are spread across Canada. Myself, I'm based in Edmonton. I've been with CDW for about 9 years now. CDW security, I think the most important part of it is our people. We've got about 100 people spread across Canada that are dedicated to security. So that's just not solution architects. That includes our delivery people that actually implement controls, and then our security operations center, which we have redundant locations based in Calgary and Toronto. Next slide, please. So our approach to security is prepare, defend, and respond. This is how we have our silos kind of built up around those particular areas. So in our prepare section, that's where we have our risk and advisory services team. So what their responsibility is, next slide, is really focusing on the governance, risk, and compliance side of the security business. So what we're talking about here is protecting critical assets, increasing regulatory pressure, because we are seeing a lot more regulations come down in response to security incidents. So things related to privacy, PCI, these kinds of regulations are coming out, and it's been difficult for organizations to kind of adapt and meet those regulatory requirements. And then a part of this is the evolving threat landscape. So we are seeing it in the news all the time. Lockbit recently, there's a lot more pressure coming from external threat actors that our businesses that we work with really need to adjust to. So this is where risk and advisory services comes in, is really focusing on trying to understand the threats and risks that are hitting your organization, and then developing the policies around that. Next slide, please. And I just wanted to highlight one of our risk and advisory services offerings is our pen testing. So this is where we actually test your controls and see how they respond when somebody is trying to attack you externally or internally, depending on where your risk profile is. So the job of a solution architect in this case is to understand what you're trying to get out of this pen test and then specifically scope that engagement to what you're looking for. So we're not just using automated testing tools to run against an IP that's on your environment. We actually want to understand what you're trying to get out of this and then specifically focusing what that pen test is going to be just to meet your requirements. So next slide, we're going to talk about defend. Next slide. So there's a lot of security partners out there that are offering a lot of solutions. So to make sure that we're delivering excellent outcomes for our customers, we have focused on specific partners, and you can see it in the top of the line there what our key partners are. So what that means is we're offering the solution architecture, so scoping, and then also the professional services around that, along with the managed services piece too. So if you want to implement and then operate, we do have the option there to have CDW deliver that for you. Anything else, we do offer fulfillment, obviously, for those particular products. And then we would tie in with potentially our task resources or the vendor delivered services to actually implement those. Next slide, please. So from a professional services perspective, we do offer implementation, of course. So if there's a particular vendor that you're looking to do implementation for that we support, my job would be to scope that out for you, to understand what you're trying to get out of it, understand your environment to make sure that those professional services are scoped appropriately, to make sure that you're getting the delivered outcomes that you're looking for. But at the same time, if you have these already deployed, we do have the ability to scope out an engagement to actually do an assessment of what you've got already deployed in your environment. And then finally, we do offer training and education. So there's a couple partners where we actually do training for those particular solutions. So next slide, please. And the training we offer is around Palo Alto and F5, but from core security controls that we offer, we are fully trained up We have experience that we can deliver and operate those solutions for you. So next slide. From a respond phase, this is where we actually talk about operating. So this is where we have our managed services. So it's important to realize nowadays that security controls aren't just deploy and forget. They have to be patched, they have to be updated, they have to be configured properly to meet your environment. So this becomes a bit of a burden if you're talking about a small team. Who's going to monitor this firewall that we've deployed 24/7? Because we need to make sure that we're responding to critical vulnerabilities that are coming out from the vendors that need to be patched right away. You may be deploying new services internally. You need to have that particular control configured. This is where our managed security operations center comes in. And the other part of that too is who's monitoring the alerts coming from these devices. So you've got top tier firewalls that are deployed. They're generating alerts. How do you make sure that you're responding to those alerts in a timely fashion? Next slide. And just wanted to highlight that our SOC team is very highly certified and skilled to operate all of the solutions that we support. And I want to thank you for listening on the presentation today. I'm going to pass it to Amy Fauchon.
Amy, you're muted.
Hello, everybody. My name is Amy Fauchon. I'm one of the solutions architects here at CDW. Next slide, please. When we do a solutions engagement with you, one of the things that we're going to do is ask you a bunch of questions on what you want and what your business drivers are. We need to assess what you need out of the engagement. From there, and what we learn from what you need for your business environment, we're going to architect a solution or give you options of what you want. Keep in mind with all the different technologies that not a single solution architect can know all of them. So there may be 2 or 3 solutions architects collaborating on what solution you need. For example, Dell hardware on pure storage with Aruba switches would be a different environment than other vendors. So there's some collaboration happening in the background. We'll write a statement of work for you, get you to sign it, and then we'll go do the implementations phase where we'll pass that off over to our professional services team or send it off to task if we don't have the skills in-house. Making sure while the solution architect will be engaged during the whole process to make sure that all your key requirements are being met. And then we can provide monitoring and operation and management of these environments after through our managed services. Next slide, please. Our hybrid portfolio, pretty much anything in your data center, we've seen before. If you have your own data center, we go all the way from the power to power bars to racks to the servers to the storage, and then all the way through for the data center. So we got networking people to do the SD-WAN, and we can do anything in this environment, almost anything in this environment that you guys want. We just need you guys to engage with our AEs. One thing that we should note is that we do not all this has to be in your data center. If you're in a colo or if you're partially in the cloud, we do have hybrid solutions where we can help you, make your first step into the cloud, or if you're already during that journey, help you along the path. Next slide, please. During a technology refresh session, we would discover what you have, what you need. Again, same methodology. We're going to assess what you want to get out of this, pinpoint underutilized resources. We're going to, if you're running a VMware environment or such, we'll run tools against your environment to see what you're actually using versus what you need. And then, propose an appropriately sized solution for your next technology refresh. All of this is with security in mind. We have to make sure that in this day and age, security is by far and most important thing that we can do right now. And of course, the design is all going to be based on best practices. Next slide. And then AI considerations. What do you want to do with AI? Or if you're just getting into the, the whole AI workspace, we can have those conversations too. Is your data ready for AI? And what data is, purposes for an AI? An AI model with, you have to be selective what data you put into your AI model, or else you won't get meaningful results out of it. How do you classify your data? And then privacy and security concerns. Do you really want all this data in the AI model? Because you're going to train the AI model for the security principles, and who has access to that data. A lot of things go into the AI considerations, and it's a very large topic. Next slide. Oh, and I guess we're passing over to Alaji. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks everyone for joining us. Actually, before you can build the slides, Drew, that's totally fine. Before I actually jump on, I do want to remind folks that if you have any questions, there is a Q&A section. So please put your questions there. We'll be happy to answer any one of them. So again, my name is Alaji Pui. I lead the pre-sales technical team for CDW Canada. I'm responsible for all the solution architects across the country. It's a fairly large team, about 90 individuals. I'm based out of Vancouver. I've been with CDW/Scalar for a little over 9 years now. So in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking to you about some of our capabilities and services that we offer when it comes to public cloud. The good thing about our capabilities is that we realize that our customers are at different stages in their journey. What's interesting about that is the fact that we've been there with you throughout, your IT journey, whether that's in the data center that Amy just spoke to getting your workloads to the cloud. So a couple of things that I'm going to mention here is helping you put together a landing zone. So once you've decided that you're going to move some workloads to the cloud, how could we put a framework in place for you to make it easier for you to migrate those workloads? So it helps us put a foundation together to make sure that your workloads are going to be secure, and it would really be easy for you to move these workloads to the cloud. So that's one of the things that we can help you with. And then once it comes to migrating the actual workloads, again, the needs of each of the workloads is different. So we can go through a workload readiness assessment, which I'll talk to in a little bit here. And based on the report that we get back, we can make recommendations as to whether a lift and shift is what makes the most sense for that particular workload, or we need to re-platform after we move the workload over. So there's definitely some options there, but it is a process that we go through to make sure that we're actually making the right decision collectively, working closely with you. And then the other option that we do have is obviously managing these workloads for you once they've already moved to the cloud. I mean, we understand that you might not have the capabilities, or you do want your team members to focus on more business critical functions rather than managing those workloads. We have the right team in place to manage these workloads for you. So we have a very robust managed services offering, very experienced individuals in our NOC. To manage this for you. So we're happy to have conversations with you around managed services. Next slide, please. Okay, so this talks about some of the strategic services that we do have. We'd like to call them our superpowers. Again, under advisory services, I did speak to cloud readiness. This is a process we go through to make sure that you're moving to the cloud for the right reasons, for the right business reasons, and also making sure that we go through your workloads and decide what makes sense to move and what doesn't make sense to move. So this is a very comprehensive assessment that we go through with you. And obviously, once you've already moved to the cloud, we can also do a well-architected review. It's a workshop that we go through to run tools within your cloud environment to make sure that they're actually set up properly, and if there's any gaps to make sure we help you mitigate some of those. And then obviously there's cost optimization. Obviously, as we're going through some of the headwinds from a business perspective, cost is important to every single business. So we can methodically go through and take a look at what you have in place already and how we can help you save on some of the costs. I wouldn't go through every single one of these, but you could see, I spoke about migration services. We can go through planning, we can go through, putting a strategy together and how we're going to execute on those plans as well, making sure that you're making the right decisions when it comes to migrating some of your workloads to the cloud. Because reality is not every single workload is right for cloud. So we can help you decide what those are. And then under end user computing, obviously working from home, making sure that the devices, the end devices that you're using are in a central location that could be managed and they are secure is really critical to a lot of our customers, and we do have capabilities in-house to help you with this. And then the last piece is security. Obviously, everything we do wraps around security. We did spend a little bit of time talking about some of our security capabilities, but once you move workloads to the cloud, you got to make sure they're really secure. So one of the services that we do provide is cloud security posture assessment. So once you've already moved to the cloud, this is actually a service we provide at no cost to you. We run a tool and then a report is generated and we can go over the report with you to call out things that we can help you mitigate. So definitely something that you can take advantage of. And if any of these jump out at you, these offerings, we're happy to have a conversation with you more on those. Next slide, please. Okay, so if there's one thing you get out of this slide is that we have the right partnerships with the right vendors, with the right cloud vendors. CDW has over 1,500 partnerships with different vendors, and cloud isn't an exception to that. We have major players here. Obviously, Microsoft stands out, AWS, GCP, but there's other ones as well. So whether you would like us to help you with your automation project or your CI/CD pipeline, we have the partnerships in place, we have the capabilities in-house, we have the right individuals on the team to help you through this. And I did talk about hybrid cloud. Reality is not every single workload is meant for the cloud. So how do we make sure that you have your system set up with the right workloads in the right locations, and having those conversations, again, Cisco, NetApp. And then the last piece is, again, security. I can't speak enough about security, making sure that once your workloads are moved to the cloud, they are thoroughly secured. So it's really, really important. Anyway, we're happy to have conversations with you regarding your journey to the cloud, and we will meet you where you're actually at. Whether you haven't decided yet which cloud platform to go with or which hyperscaler to go with, to you've already moved to the cloud and we can provide value around services or cost optimization or governance, whatever that is. We have the right individuals in place to help you with this. I do appreciate your time. And now I'll pass it on to Troy Monahan. Troy.
Thanks, Balaji. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm Troy Monahan. I look after our consulting services and staff augmentation practice for CDW Canada. I actually reside in Calgary, and Lane Forsyth, who is also on the call here today, he's typically the one that'll look after you. He's also here in Calgary. I'm always happy to jump on calls as well and speak about my practice. For clarity, my team typically will look after anything third party. So if our great PS bench doesn't have the skill sets in-house, my team will help out either with one of our strategic partners, or if it's just a particular skill set you're after, then we're going to source a contractor to help you out. Today, I have to be fairly quick, so I'll just probably mainly focus on our staff augmentation piece of the business. So I'm proud to say our staff aug here in CDW is one of our fastest growing pieces of business. I think that is due to our flexibility, our pricing, relationships, and our quality of resources. I've talked to hundreds of clients over the years, and there's often mixed feelings when They deal with some of the different recruiting agencies around. We are not a recruiting agency. I like to think we do things a little bit differently. I helped build a staff aug practice many, many years ago, and the company I worked for got frustrated with a lot of the agencies, mainly around the lack of flexibility. And I'm not going to say poor resources, but maybe not the right resources that were put in front of them. I'm not going to talk through everything on this slide, but a few of the benefits that you get from staff augmentation. Cost savings. If you're just looking for a skill set, which a lot of our clients are, and you want to manage them yourself, we can do that at a very reduced rate. We can help our clients with both full-time skill sets that they're looking for if they're bringing on employees, or we also offer short-term or long-term contractors. Our close rate is typically hovers around 80%. So it's nice to see that we're closing a large chunk of the opportunities that come our way. One of the points is actually not on this slide is vendor consolidation. And I'd say over the last year or two, I've seen a lot of clients that are already working with CDW, ordering hardware, software, and using a lot of our other services, are looking to consolidate into one client. So we've had a lot of clients that come over and procurement is asking them to trim down that vendor list. So that is nice to see. Off to the right of the screen, just a few skill sets that we're starting to see already in 2020. Obviously, we do lots of
I think Troy is having some audio issues. Is it just me?
Can you hear me?
You're coming in and out, Troy.
Yeah. You're having some audio issues.
Oh, sorry, you guys. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe try turning off your video, see if that helps.
Sure.
Yeah. Seems to be working okay now. But
Is it good now? I think
it's better. It's better.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hopefully you got most of that. Okay, go to the next slide.
Are you there, Drew?
Drew? Well, maybe it's Drew that dropped off.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've gone to the next slide. Can you see it here?
No.
We're still in the benefits of staff aug.
Let's try that. Let me go back. Has it changed for you now?
No.
No.
Wonderful.
So I think I have this slide here. I can try to share it. I don't know if it's been updated.
I can, I don't know if you want me to talk to it without it being up there. Why don't I do that? So our mission, our purpose is to provide you with the best consultants quickly and efficiently, period. I know you can't see the slide at the time, but our practice is designed to help efficiently and predictably source, validate, and support the IT consultants our clients need when they need them. So we're not here just to plug people in. We want to understand your environment and offer the best solution to your problems. Actually, a lot of our staff augmentation opportunities come out of some of our professional services work that we've done. So we come in, do an implementation, and then staff augmentation then comes in and helps manage that environment ongoing. Another point, we have a national bench and national coverage, and that allows us to react really quickly to urgent requests. And when I talk about a national bench, I know a lot of companies talk about having a national bench, but they're most of the resources are stationed in one area. As Drew pointed out on one of the earlier slides, my team's got people all over Canada, from Toronto to Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, and British Columbia. We've got the ability to find really good resources for both short-term and long-term assignments. So again, back to our flexibility, we're not just looking for longer-term engagements. If you have vacation coverage or shorter-term needs, we're happy to help on that as well. On average, we're able to source individuals within 48 hours, and we're going to keep you informed of the process as we go through that. And two real important pieces. We've got a real rigorous interview process. Lane on our team, my recruitment team, really good at interviewing and vetting our contractors. However, we also use our internal PS resources. So the Azure experts our PMO will also vet our candidates as well for you. And on that same note, those people also back up our resources. So you're not just getting a single individual, you're actually getting a whole team that backs up these people. I think we're still having some issues with the slides.
Can you see the slides? I'm sharing them now.
Oh, I don't see that. I just see a black screen. I don't know if anybody else does. Okay. We've as far as our recruitment team, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Are you
That's
able to stop presenting and we'll switch over here? Switch over to Alaji.
Oh, there we go.
Can you see
There
it?
we go. Thank
Troy?
you.
Yep.
Okay.
You can see it now.
Okay. Okay, cool.
So
Sorry
if you go
about
to
that,
the
everybody. Sending
click-
live.
click 2 more slides.
Okay. Can you see the need help slide?
I'm seeing benefits of IT staff augmentation still.
Interesting. Okay. Mine is not working either.
Okay. Well, I'll finish off here. So yeah, recruiting and partnership slide. We've got decades of experience at CDW, so we're not just hiring on junior resources. A lot of my team has been working for several years. We do have strong partnerships nationwide. They help us with some of the niche skill sets, so we're able to provide resources for project-based and operational-based services. Very strong relationships. There we go. Next one, if you can click one more. There, thank you. And very strong relationships with consultants. Flexibility that I've talked about, and quality really is our most important metric. A lot of our contractors that we put on site, we've also used for some of our internal projects as well. So at the end of the day, we are an extension of our PS bench. One of the points that I'd also like to mention is all of our contractors are direct to CDW. I know that some of the competition does go to recruiting agencies to get that. We do have our own recruitment team internally at CDW, so we are finding those people, and it is a direct contract with CDW. And if you want to flip to the last one, I think that's it for me. So yeah, in Alberta, these are the people you can reach out to if you're looking for anybody, or if you have any questions. Always happy to jump on and talk about this in more detail. Back to you, Drew.
Wonderful. Thanks, Troy. Apologies to all for the obviously technology glitch there. I'm not sure if it was Teams related, Outlook related, or internet related. But in any event, I think we're back up and running. So again, appreciate your patience. Just as a reminder, if anything has caught your attention, please reach out to your account manager, account executive, or myself, your business development manager. With that, I'll take a few minutes to walk you through our managed service capabilities. Can't tell you how often over the last 6 years I've heard customers mention, I didn't realize CDW has a full stack of managed services. With that, I'll take you through a high-level overview as to what that full stack looks like, all the way through network management, newly added carrier management. So just a quick blurb on that. If you do have multi-site across the province, across the country, and you're looking for better connectivity options, both from a primary and secondary circuit, or potentially failover, including LTE or satellite, CDW has the ability to help work with telcos to provide a full managed carrier service option. As somebody who's spent the last, feels like 50 years working with various carriers from a personal and professional standpoint, I can tell you if there was an option to have that outsourced to anyone else, I absolutely would take the option. So do consider that if you have multiple carrier relationships and you're looking to streamline those, right through managed storage, backup, disaster recovery, managed compute, both physical and virtual. Everyone's favorite, server patch management. I can't tell you how often customers have asked this over the years. If you could take one thing away from my team, it would be server patch management. Nobody really looks forward to it. Providing 24/7 monitoring, health checks, firmware updates, quarterly optimizations. You're provided as part of the managed service, a service delivery manager that's dedicated to you. Think of them as a project manager specific only to services. They act as a go-between between our technical teams and our delivery teams for you as a customer, and they have scheduled calls to understand what current state looks like, how to improve on service, as well as help facilitate discussions that you might have around any upcoming technology refreshes or changes to your environment to ensure a smooth user experience. Right through SD-WAN switches and routers, wireless access point, and then it's called out specifically here again. It's not specifically under management, so we do offer also just aggregation of carrier services for customers that aren't looking to have it managed, although for the most part, we see customers go with a full managed option. And then just illustrated there at the bottom, we are a best of breed model versus best effort, in that we will work to prescriptively recommend and aggregate services only under vendor technologies that we have deep level skill sets. So one of things that I'll say, having worked with managed service providers in a previous life, the biggest mistake an MSP can make is by saying we can do everything when they can't, and then trying to figure it out on the back end by chair swiveling and firefighting. It doesn't lend to a positive user experience for you as a customer or to the MSP from a service delivery perspective. To give you some insight and visibility into what our tool set looks like from a delivery platform, we're standardized on ServiceNow from an IT service management or ITSM standpoint. We grant customers access to a portal to give you visibility and real-time insight into your assets, give you self-service capability, provide you reporting, which is one of the biggest pain points that we find that customers coming from other managed service providers have. Real-time trending and performance. So it's great that you're leveraging a team to potentially help assist manage your environment, but if they don't provide you insight into what that looks like, it can be painful. Knowledge base, so it's important. Knowledge is power, and we believe that shared knowledge across your environment with our team only makes it better. Near real time SLA information. That's again another big pain point. We see customers coming to us near the end of a term with a existing managed service providers. They'll come to us saying, I don't have visibility. I don't understand what the SLAs that I'm paying for are, and I can't ensure that they're being met. And then from a tool set perspective, we leverage science, logic to be able to monitor applications, cloud, security, network, compute, storage, physical and virtual. And then from a patching deployment perspective, we leverage best of breed tools with Red Hat Ansible. The one bit of advice that I'll give you as somebody who's worked extensively with MSPs and in the industry for the last 25 years is you can tell how mature an MSP's practice is by the degree of automation and the maturity of the tools they put in place to deliver the service. We're big on transparency with our customers. Again, that's probably, if any, the largest pain point we see with customers is, I don't understand what work's being done. I understand that we get an invoice. I understand what we initially signed up for, but we don't necessarily have or are taking advantage of all the tool sets that we signed up for. As such, we built a tiered model, starting with observe, operate, and optimize. And the intent is really to provide you a